Sheetrock's done! Well, it's hung. Let's just put it that way. You can hear the echo now. I have walls. I can't walk through them anymore. Oh, what a weight lifted off the shoulders. It's hung everywhere. 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 And, you know, Christmas is coming up. Merry Christmas to all of you. Actually, for all of you, Christmas is already passed. Still, Merry Christmas. And insulation. It was another big insulation week. I am no longer just bleeding money into the atmosphere. It is wonderful. I have help for that, and you get to meet her. So, let's get into this week's episode. Good morning, it's Monday, and the guys are already here, already hard at it. I thought of a couple of more things that I could do before sheetrock, so they're in a different part of the house, so I can get those things done. And we're just running, I didn't think about an outlet for the dishwasher. Naughty, naughty, Sean. Naughty, naughty. And I ran the doorbell wire to the doorbell button, but never ran it to the actual doorbell. So, we'll do that as well. Okay, let's do that. Oh, true to form, it's been quite a day. I don't even know where the day goes. It goes by so fast. I was running a little bit late this morning. Both the sheetrockers and Curtis Lumber were waiting on me when I got here. Brr. But, you know, things have to get done, so they did. Need to get this all stacked so we can get more room, so we can bring more in. I don't know if I'll bring more in tonight. Probably do more in the morning. Let's get this stacked out. Five o'clock already. Still have a little bit of a late night tonight to finish editing last week's video. We lost power this weekend. We had 2 feet of snow. 2 feet. It was above my knees. I am not complaining. Don't take that as a complaint. I love winter. And I cannot believe we were able to get as much done as we did on Frankie here. My own personal house, it's definitely suffering because of this project, but we'll get there. We'll get there. But because of the 2 feet of snow, we didn't have power for a good chunk of the weekend. And that's the time I need to edit my videos. So, I spent a late night last night when power came back on. And tonight's gonna be another late night. Again, I am not complaining. Simply stating the facts. Stating the facts. So, you remember the video a while back where I went and helped a friend build a set of stairs? Well, we reached out to that friend and asked if she knew of anyone who was looking for a little bit of work, because I need help with this project right here. And she found someone. And you're gonna meet her tomorrow. go home a little bit early, finish that edit, then be a little bit more refreshed in the morning because we're at the go. It's go time. I think I am going to go home now, and I will see y'all in the morning. All right, good morning everyone. So this is Julie, she's gonna help us out today. We've got our cellulose pretty much in the room here, being ready to go. She's gonna feed the machine, I'll be upstairs blowing it around. As you can see, the Sheetrock crew is still behind us, and they're hard at it above the staircase. Yeah, so let's just get into the day. It is late. I'm still here. It was awesome to have Julie here today. And I couldn't imagine how painful that would have been without her. Oh, look at that. It is almost 8 o'clock and I'm still here. So that's a 13-hour day so far. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to stay in front of the sheetrockers. So they've been good enough to put the sheetrock up on the bathroom walls, only on one side, so I can come in and insulate the back side against sound. So you buy a product called Rock Wool Safe and Sound, and it looks just like the regular mineral wool insulation. I really don't know the technical difference between the two. My rep is swearing that there's a difference. I don't know. I've never tested it. You know, maybe someday we'll do that. We'll do some sort of decibel level interference between a rock wool safe and sound and the regular rock wool, and then we'll do some thermal on it and see if there's a difference. Sounds like a fun experiment to me. You know me, I love my data. Data doesn't lie. Now, I really do prefer to put interior wall insulation everywhere. Oh. Just the insulation I purchased was $800, and that should be just enough to do the bathrooms. Because, you know, nobody. We didn't actually get finished today. I gotta go to Plattsburgh first thing in the morning and pick up enough insulation to finish this thing. Well, good morning. We're in Plattsburgh today picking up the rest of the insulation that we need. Yep, so that just happened. Now, run out to Frankie, an hour and a half away, and get back to work. All right, so for me, this is the first time using blown-in insulation myself, actually installing it. And Julie here had never done it either. And so we learned a few things in the whole process. And so, Julie, I'll have you start. Just kind of say like how you fed it, the issues we ran into, and like regulating the baffle and all that.
All right. Well, I tried a few different like techniques while feeding it. I pretty much left the airflow thing open the whole time, but I did notice when it got too low that it would like shoot the stuff out everywhere. So I was trying to keep the cauldron here at least half full,
Okay.
which sometimes meant turning it off every so often, just so
Right.
it wasn't like going everywhere in the meantime while I was getting new bales.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So when she's saying turn it off, she has two buttons over here. One's a blower and one's the agitator. So she would turn the agitator off but leave the blower running, and that's important. Because if you shut the blower off, then all the stuff just kind of settles in the tube and won't clear out and can cause a clog. So that's why we did it that way.
Yep, that's about it. I mean, I guess just trying to figure out like the size of like clumps to add in, which mostly was kind of the grapefruit size like we were going for. That seemed to be pretty good, but even if I had a little extra time to break it down a little bit more, I feel like it fed through even faster, and then you didn't wind up with clumps up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at one point she was breaking it down quite a bit, and she was having issues with it, overflowing and puffing and all that stuff here, and it wasn't feeding that well. And then she started doing larger clumps, but then I was getting clumps. And the problem with getting clumps upstairs is that it means it wasn't broken apart, and it doesn't allow for the insulative value to be there, and which is fine because I over insulate everything, so there's tons of insulation up there, and it's not a problem. But then once we identified that, she went back to breaking it down a little bit smaller, and we didn't have any clumps anymore. So that was that. From my side of the fence, the only thing I can suggest is our machine here from the rental company that we used came with a 50-foot hose, and it wasn't long enough. So I had a chunk of this semi-rigid duct, a 6-inch, and I actually had 2 sections of it, and I used both of those on this to get to the far corner above the primary suite, because the 50-foot hose was not long enough to get there. And in the process of doing that, I learned that having this semi-rigid was really convenient because you could, you can point it anywhere you wanted to go. So if I wanted to go back around the backside of a truss or something, I could do something like that, turn the hose, shove it back there, and I was able to get into every nook and cranny that was up there. So that's only 2 pointers I can give you. Outside of that, it was pretty cruisy. It takes a lot longer than I was expecting.
Yeah, so we did, well, let's see, probably at least like 8 hours of like just stuffing it. Yeah, yesterday. So yeah, and bring some headphones for podcast because it's kind of boring.
Yeah, it is.
If you're feeding it.
I mean, even up there spraying or blowing, it is mind-numbing.
Yeah.
It is so tedious. I think, like yesterday, I was here on site for 13 and a half hours, and 8 of that was just blowing.
Yeah. And how many did we say we did again roughly yesterday? Was it of like the bales?
Oh, the bales. Well, total. Well, yesterday was everything we had in the first load. Mm-hmm. So that was 130 bales. And then today we did another 35 bales. So, yeah, we have 165 bales above this house, which should translate to roughly about an R55 if it's completely even across the whole thing. I'm gonna let the house kind of balance itself, especially once sheetrock is done. And I'd like to do a blower door test to see where we're at there. And what that does, it pressurizes the house and tries to see where there's any leaks. So any heat loss. And I'll go with the thermal imaging gun and look everything and see how it's doing, which is pretty cool.
Cool.
All right, well, we're gonna get this thing wrapped up and get it back to the rental store before I get fined. All right, let's do that. I'm gonna show this part. Well, loading that blower into the back of the truck was flat out comical. But I figured out I could back my truck right up into the front steps, and we wheeled it down there, and in the truck she went. So poor Julie and I didn't have to pick that monster up and put it in the back of the truck. And I'm sure you can hear that the acoustics have changed quite a bit, and you can see behind me that there's a lot of sheetrock up. I'm sorry I don't have a whole lot of footage of them doing that. Yeah, I kept it on Julie and I. But I'm getting really excited to show you guys how this thing is turning out. And we'll do that right at the end of the video here, at the end of the week. A couple more days, and we'll see how far the guys get. I need a kitchen or a bathroom finished, primed and done and ready to go. So I can decide how I'm gonna trim it, and you know, we have to get doors and oh man, the amount of trim for all the windows and the base and the casings, and it is gonna be a lot. All right, let's shut it down and lock it up and get out of here. Good night, and I'll see you in the morning. Welcome to Thursday. The guys were just straight out at it. They were going straight into the basement, and so I needed to get ahead of them immediately, so I didn't bother to stop and film anything. Set the camera up on time-lapse and let the guys do their thing. They're installing the RC channel, which we talked about in a previous episode, and I'm in the, what I call the warm-up room, or the garden room, and just going through and sorting out the details of, you know, some proud lumber, some proud nails and screws and all that stuff. Just getting the room prepped and ready for these guys to get in there. And that way I'm not holding them up at all. So that's what we did. And, you know, they're just going through and, you know, rinse, lather, and repeat. These guys are just a machine. They just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. It's pretty awesome. And now I ran out of things to do, so I decided to come in to the room they're in and take care of the proud foam and screws or whatever in there. And the guys are so, you know, flexible and allowing me to still be on site, which sometimes Sheetrockers won't let you do. But, you know, we've working pretty well together so far, so that's pretty cool. And oh, now I'm running around with the thermal imaging camera again and making sure there's any last second things I can do to clean things up. All right. Well, I guess I'll just let you guys watch and enjoy some music. So this is the scuttle for the attic access. Right now there's just a piece of sheetrock sitting on there, and 53 degrees, edge is 58. Yep. And outside of there, yeah, so 60-ish out here. $54-ish there. Alright, so what I did is just put the original sheetrock that they cut out of the actual access hole, put a piece of foam board, glued it to it, made another piece of foam board larger than this, and so we have 2 inches of foam board. So we'll put that up in there and have a look, see how well that works. So I assembled it. The glue is taking its sweet time setting up, so we're just gonna let that set up for overnight and have a look at it in the morning. Oh, now I just need to figure out what I'm gonna do the rest of the night. Oh. As I walk around to start cleaning things up, I noticed that this outlet is really recessed behind the sheetrock. And after looking at it, I figured out why. If you recall, this whole wall had a header above it, and I furred out this wall to meet the depth of that header so the sheetrock would have one continuous plane. So I forgot to put the furring strip on that stud when I hung that box for electrical. So what that means is I have to pull this whole sheet off, fur that out, rehang the box, and put the sheet back on. And after looking at it, it's not going to be the easiest thing in the world to do because of the window cutout and all that, but I think I can do it. And I'll just grab a screw gun and get after it. Alright, now I have 2 layers of foam board up there. 59, 58, somewhere in there. 2, 59, 60, so it's right there. It has been a crazy weather day. In fact, today, Friday, has been purely logistical. I had a meeting first thing this morning, so I ran around a little bit, went to the meeting, and then came here. And then here was, well, it was raining buckets. So it was a hot mess. Everything was a big slush pile. And then I decided, well, if it's gonna freeze, which it's obviously below freezing now already, I better go dump the dump trailer. So I went and did that, and then came back here. By the time everything was done, it was about 2 o'clock. Ate my lunch, and here we are. The sheetrockers came in, they screwed off the house, so now it's a great time to take you guys for a tour. So come on in. So here we have the mud room. Come into the, I'm guessing we're calling this the breakfast nook. And that'll be the kitchen. And that bench sort of represents the edge of the peninsula that'll be there. And then that will be countertop, refrigerator, all countertop, and then peninsula this way. You can see a bit of the timber frame all exposed. They over-ordered the sheetrock a bit, so they're gonna credit me on that. So we'll stand back here. This is the back side of the fireplace. that you've seen the inside of so many times. There's the exposed beam for the dining room area. And we'll scoot right in here. And this is the front bedroom. Large closet there. And then the Jack and Jill bathroom. So I'll do a double sink here. Toilet. If you notice, the acoustics changed quite a bit just by walking in here, and that's because that wall is fully insulated. So it does change the way it sounds, which is great. Up there is the scuttle access to the attic, and that double foam board is working beautifully. Small closet, another small bedroom. Then we have the laundry and half bath. And it opens right up into the fireplace, family living room. More of the exposed timber frame. And then the primary suite. Still pretty gloomy out there, but even gloomy, the view is pretty darn nice, I would say. So the primary bath, so the tub will go there, and then you have your linen closet, that will be the shower, and toilet, double vanity. And a massive closet. And take note, all the ceilings are 9 foot up here on the main level. And I am not sheetrocking above the fireplace. And we have, it's kind of deceiving with all these buckets and things, just how nice and big and open the entry to the staircase is. It's really deceiving, actually. But you can see just how deep the staircase is, allowing for real nice headroom as you get down here. I don't have to even think about ducking. Down here is just shy of 8 feet tall, so it's not quite as nice, but still, you get an idea of the space. And again, the view is still really nice down here too. Then we have some storage back in here. And tell me if you guys would have sheetrocked the bottom side of your stairs. I find it, as a home inspector, people find it more inviting and usable if there's sheetrock there. And they find it less scary, is what I've noticed. Now you're gonna have to excuse my mess in here, because it is, you know, it's a hot mess. As I can't have anything else inside the house, everything has to be in here. That's fine. It's all part of construction. Nothing's changed. Oh! Did I film that? I don't even remember now. Well, here's the end result of me finding some air leaks that were missed by the spray foam. Up in there. And back in there, there's a couple too. Nothing big, just a couple spots. And then the last room. My little warm room. It's gonna be really warm with that big heater in here. I'm not sure I agree with the fellow who designed my heating system. But that's fine. Well, what do you think of the timber frame exposed to the sheetrock? Let me know in the comments down below. And let me know if you would finish it all the way out, or leave it raw the way it is, or stain it. I will not give you the option to paint it. Yeah, I won't do that. All right. So, this week was pretty eventful. I'm still just absolutely tickled that the sheetrock is up. My wife and daughter came yesterday and walked through, and my daughter didn't even believe it was the same house. She said it'd be a little bit different with sheetrock up, and she walked into, it's this much different with sheetrock up. Oh, the mind of a 5-year-old. Huh. She's a good kid. She's a good kid. Yeah. So, next week, it's gonna be, I'm probably taking Monday off, so there's that. Oh, I've got a list of miscellaneous stuff to jump on, a list. And there's a few items that I found that the sheetrockers went over the top of. Is they're gonna be mudding. Hopefully, I don't know if they can get it in the primer by then, but that's where they stop. They're gonna do all the mudding and then get it in the prime, and then I take over from there. And then the race will be on. There's so much to do now. Whoa, I've been figuring out projects to do for the last few weeks. There's no more figuring out. It's go time. It is gonna be go time. So hopefully next week I can wrap up all my miscellaneous little things and then be ready to go. Whew. Still a lot of work for one fella, but I'll get it. I will get it. All right, thank you for stopping by High Peaks Home.